I'd like to welcome everybody to HBCU Coaches Corner. I'm your man, Rocky Miller, along with my co-host, Mr. Stephen Campbell, and our featured host tonight, a man who once in Ena Bena, Mississippi, threw for 6 touchdowns against the vaunted Mississippi Valley Delta Devils, Willie Totten and Jerry Rice. My man, none other than Johnnie Cole.
I'm going to have to give you another one of my famous games because if they catch it at the end, they think it's their show.
Hey, Coach, I want to play something, Coach, that I think everybody should understand why we're playing it, and this is in commemoration of one of your proteges. I always appreciate a man who called his own shot.
Go down in the valleys. Whoa, whoa, whoa. There is a place I want to go. The name of the place ringing in my ear. Atlanta, 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 Atlanta is the land of the purple and gold. Oh, the land of the purple and gold.
Hey, Coach, I think that was appropriate to play because your protege, Mr. Tremaine Jackson, clinched his appearance in the SWAC championship, Coach. And I got to give it. Tremaine Jackson called it back in August. You said he would do it when he was hired. Coach, did anything surprise you about what Tremaine Jackson was able to do this year?
Not at all, Coach. You know, I had the pleasure again of mentoring him and him being a sponge and you know, the great things that he have accomplished on his own. You know, it's always a proud moment. I feel like a teacher, you know what I mean, that see his pupil have went on to bigger and better and greater things. He's put together a great staff, a great program, and you know, here on our show, man, you know, that's what this show is all about, to produce and show the world that you know, these HBCU coaches, you know what they're doing. I mean, we're bringing on a great guy tonight, and Coach Bishop is going to introduce him, but he called it, man. He did the Muhammad Ali on him, and I'm gonna take it a step further. You know, I really feel, man, that don't be surprised if we ain't all flying out to Atlanta seeing Prairie View go for the HBCU National Championship. I think he has that type of team. I know we'll get more into what went on this past weekend. I think his offense is peaking. Defense been playing great. They got a time off. They play Mississippi Valley this week. They'll have maybe have a little time to get developed, but I'm proud of him, man. And, you know, we had a chance to talk after the game that he won the championship. And, you know, he really didn't even celebrate. He went right into a recruiting weekend. So that'll tell you what type of coach he is.
You know, we're about to introduce a coach. And it just goes to show you how deep the D2 coaching pool is with quality coaches. And we're about to introduce another coach that is part of that deep pool of quality coaches in Division II football. I'm going to step aside and let Campbell do his thing.
Now, Coach, listen, you done had a lot of your boys on. We've had a lot of great HBCU quarterbacks. But you failed to realize that we had to bring a rattler in here. Now, I'm going to give y'all a little something about this rattler right here. 2-time MEAC champion, HBCU national champion, MEAC Hall of Famer, Florida A&M Hall of Famer, and now the proud coach of Albany State and down the #1 seed, SIAC champion, and probably will be the coach of the year, the SIAC. My rattler, my quarterback, Coach Quinn, Albany State.
I'm trying to figure out who you was just talking about, man.
Coach, how you doing, Coach?
I'm doing well. Who was he just introducing?
Hey, man, listen. Now, Coach, you know we got one motto. We brag different.
That's
one
fact.
thing about it. And you know that I'm not gonna listen, man. We done had that, like I say, I'm from Jackson. I don't know if you know. So we had Superman Kent, we had Bruce Eugene on, all these people, you know what I'm saying, and all these great quarterbacks. But then people, my brother said, whoa, wait a minute now. We got somebody in that lexicon that needs to be there actually coaching. I said, man, come on, man. Y'all know I know everybody. I'm gonna track him down. So thanks to my sister, Angela Suggs, and her husband, my coach right here on a nice bike. Coach, what kind of bike was that you was on, Coach?
Oh man, that was my Harley, man. And I take pride in that thing, man. My wife gave me an opportunity to do something that I love and one of my passions, and that's riding Harley. So that was just one of those evenings that I was able to get away for a little bit and enjoy the evening breeze.
Yeah. So Coach rolled up on his Harley after a big win, got to meet him, like I say, face to face for the first time. And we've been working on this. And Coach, I'm super excited because you know what? It worked out perfect because you're now on as the SIAC champion. So I'm glad. So I'm going to pass you off to another Coach of the Year, SIAC coach, because I want the coaches to talk first. And me and you going to get in that rattle business a little bit later.
Awesome. Awesome.
Coach, man, you part of history of that. 4 Division 2 HBCU schools going into the tournament. I think you have put your name, and you should be one of the hottest coaches going. You see Prairie View's Tremaine Jackson come from the same Division 2 and also the same tournament that you're about to be in. Your background, and what you've done. Of course, I've coached against you. I know you were a hell of a player. Of course, we'll talk about some of that. Really, Coach, Albany State, used to be a perennial winner. You came in and you got them back, the juices back going, man. Really, Coach, you're going into a tournament. Usually we don't get that many. And you're number one going into that. How you really feel tonight about you, your staff, and your team?
To be honest. Be honest with you, Coach Cole, man. It's just really an honor and a pleasure because the guys that have really gotten it done are our student athletes. They have really turned the page and have done the things that they've needed to do to get themselves to this point of the season, the opportunity that they've earned. It's been a year where these guys have grown from relationships and the ability to trust each other, because that's what we were missing. We were missing that trust in each other to do their jobs, and trusting and holding each other accountable for the things that we did on and off the field, making sure that each and every day that we're preparing in a way that's of championship standard. So for us, and this opportunity, it's a tremendous opportunity for us to go in the playoffs and represent all HBCUs. And like you said, there is 5 HBCUs that will be represented in the D2 playoffs this year, with us being the number 1 seed, Johnson C. Smith being in there, Benedict from the SIAC, Kentucky State from the SIAC, and then also Virginia Union. So for us, it's a great opportunity. There's never been 5 HBCUs representing the D2 playoffs, and hopefully, outside of us, we're definitely rooting for those guys to be successful, so they can also start putting some respect on the HBCU culture when it comes down to getting in these playoffs.
Yeah. Coach, I know it took you a minute to get them going in the right direction. I ain't been on the side in a while, but the thing I hear that you guys as head coaches always talk about is the culture. The culture. You got to change the culture. Was that one of the things that you were matched up against when you took over that job, or you guys kind of had it, or those are things that you were working for, and of course, the success of this year?
Well, to be honest with you, it was a bit of a culture change, simply because Coach Gabe Gardenia had certain ways of how he did things, and I had ways of how I wanted things done. So we had to make sure that the kids understood what the standards were and what the expectation was when it came down to how and the way that we were going to do things in and around Albany State from an academic standpoint and then from an athletic standpoint. The biggest thing was helping them understand that academics was going to come first. Not that it didn't prior to me being there, but at the end of the day, that degree is the reason that you're standing in front of me or having this opportunity, to be honest with you. And with that, that was the biggest thing that we had to get straight. Our guys understanding that the ability to be strong academically only carries over to the field and helps you in major ways when it comes down to pressure situations and in the game of football and being able to do what's asked of you and attention to detail during the game. So with that, that was one of the major things. We improved our GPA over a half a point this past spring. We went from a 2.3 to a 2.85 as an overall team GPA and looking to take that thing well over 3.0 this fall. So for me, that's one of the things that we stand on in terms of our standards and things of that magnitude. But, the winning has always been a part of Albany State. The last championship that was won here was back in 2021. And when Coach Gardenia left, there was some guys that were still here that sort of kind of hadn't bought into what we were trying to do. And if they were going to stick around, they had to really commit to the adjustments that had to be made. Some of them did, some of them didn't. And unfortunately for them, they didn't stick around much. And those that stuck around are champions today. And that's about 5 or 6 of our guys that was part of that last championship team. And now they're 2 times champions when it comes down to the SIAC.
Yeah. One thing, of course, I've coached against you and you played under one of the greatest head football coaches, man, in football, and Billy Joe, and of course his staff members. How much have you taken from that of being the great quarterback you were? I mean, we struggled against y'all every year. It was back and forth. I mean, I've seen you do incredible things, read coverages as a player. As now as a head coach, it's when you look back on some of the guys you played under and some of the guys you work with, who stands out to you the most or who you think that you pattern the most?
I think, to be honest with you, man, I come from a family of coaches. My dad was a successful high school coach in the South Florida area, which the reason that I got into football. A lot of people don't know or realize that I didn't start playing football until I got in 9th grade, but I was always around the game. When it came down to playing little league ball, I never played because I was always a bigger kid. And back then it was about weight and then not necessarily about age. And I was always a bigger kid. And I would have had, at 10 years old, would have had to play with 14, 15-year-olds. And my dad wasn't about to allow that. So when it came down to it, man, some of the bigger influences was my dad. And then once I got older and started getting into the game, it was Coach Joe. Coach Joe, and the way that the tutelage that we got from that man was incredible, to be honest with you. So to be able to teach and get some young 18, 19-year-old men to understand how to call plays versus grown men in terms of defensive coordinators, because Coach Billy Joe got us to a point where we called our own plays in games. I probably can count on 2 hands how many plays Coach Jimmy Joe, who was our offensive coordinator, or Coach Billy called from the box over my 4 years of being at Florida A&M. So for me, being able to be on the sideline and call plays from the sideline is something that I was able to gain success from as being a collegiate athlete and being under the tutelage of Coach Billy Joe and the things that he's taught me. Obviously, I learned some other things when it came down to organization and scheming from my professional days. But at the end of the day, being able to see a defense and being able to put people in situations and in position to make plays comes from my former head coach, Coach Billy Joe. And to this day, we keep in touch and we talk every now and again. He's over there in Alabama enjoying retirement. But at the end of the day, there's so much of him that's on this that's connected to this success that we've had as a program that, I owe a lot to him when it comes down to it.
Yeah, he's one of the guys I've had on my show as well. one of the things about you guys were so successful offensively coming through. How much do you still use some of the stuff that you've been in? And as you said, just a while ago, you picked things up on the way, or did you just go straight spread? Because you didn't play in the spread offense. So do you kind of mix both together?
Well, what happened over the years, Coach Cole, you know how this thing goes when it comes down to coaching and playing the game. You've had so many different experiences and systems that you've been in. You sort of kind of take what you believe and what you feel is going to give you the most success with the talent that you have. Because at the end of the day, you can't necessarily design a system unless you understand what talent you have. You got to be able to design that system around the talent you have, because at the end of the day, you can have what you think is the best system in the world, and if you don't have the players that can get it done, that system ain't about nothing. So when it came down to it, my staff and I, we sat down and tried to figure out what schemes and things of that magnitude would best suit the guys that we had on our roster, and we were able to put some things together from a schematical standpoint and make sure that we were putting our guys in the best situation possible from an offensive line standpoint, protection standpoint, run game standpoint, and then making sure that the things that we were asking of our quarterback, we had a guy back there that can get the things done that we were asking of them. And obviously for us, being able to go out and find receivers and skill guys is something that in South Georgia and Florida right down the street, that wouldn't be hard. So with all that, making sure that we had the scheme to be successful and the scheme to put our kids in the right situations is what it truly was about. And we were able to do that as a staff, and the success of that has taken us to where we're at today.
Yeah. You champion of the SIAC, coach. Of course, head coaches don't do it all by themselves. Here's the opportunity, man, to talk about your staff, give them a little, tell us a little bit about your staff, and let everybody know, because you are the guy, but of course also that you can't do without them.
No question. And to be honest with you, Coach Cole, I try to pride myself on not being the smartest guy in the room, because at the end of the day, you want people around you that are going to help you and make sure that they ain't just yes men. I don't want yes men around me. I want guys that are going to tell me when they don't feel like something is right, or if they feel like they have a better idea in how to get something done. I want to hear it, because I'm not that bullheaded to have guys around me that I can't listen to. If that's the case, there's no reason to have them around you. But for me, the biggest thing and the biggest improvement was us defensively. And our defensive coordinator, Coach Cash, has done a tremendous job of making adjustments with our guys and putting them in situations and being successful. Coach Cash is a 10-year vet from the NFL, played with Detroit, and also played with the Atlanta Falcons for a little bit. We coached together when I was back at FAMU coaching. We coached together at Alcorn. He had a stint with the Seattle Seahawks at one point. So Coach Cash has been on the highest level. He's a graduate of the University of Southern California, and was drafted in the NFL back in, I would want to say, maybe 2000, 2001. So to have Coach Cash on my staff, and for him, the things that he's done with our young people on that side of the ball has been tremendous in terms of the improvement that we've seen from this season from last season to this season. And with him, he has Coach Matthew Brown, our linebackers coach, our co-coordinator, who has done a tremendous job with our linebackers, and then also helping out on special teams. Our defensive line has improved tremendously, and they're getting pressure. And Coach, I'm sure you may know Coach, old school Coach Damon Frenches. He's done a tremendous job for us, getting our young guys going this past season. So offensively, Coach Nick Seawalk is our offensive line coach. Coach Seawalk, and our relationship started back at the University of Memphis. He was the offensive analyst, offensive GA while he was there, and then he went on to coach and be an assistant at the University of Tennessee. And for us, we're just blessed to be able to have him here in that capacity. Coach Ryan Petrosic handles our wide receiver, and then Coach Anthony Kelly, who's a 40-year vet of Albany State. He's a graduate of Albany State. He's been on the staff since the mid-'80s. He coached with Coach Hamp Smith. He coached with Coach Mike White. So he knows the inner workings of Albany State and the city here and the community of Albany. He handles a lot of things when it comes down to our community relations and things like that. But my staff has been tremendous in making sure that our coaches, our kids are prepared and ready to play each and every week. And then Coach Elijah Washington is our special teams coordinator, and we've had some tremendous success in the return game and taking kicks back this season in terms of punts and also kickoff returns. So collectively, my staff has done a tremendous job of putting our guys in great situations to be successful and allowing them to play fast. And that's truly what football is about, if you ask me. It's about not allowing or having your guys think on Saturdays. You want them to think throughout the week and react on Saturdays. And they've done a tremendous job of putting them in those situations to be able to do that. Yeah.
Coach Frenchie's we go way back, Coach. Me and Coach Frenchie's go way back.
Absolutely. Man, Coach Frenchie's was actually, I could say Coach Frenchie's when I was not a sophomore, my junior year at FAMU, Coach Frenchie's was the defensive coordinator at Delaware State. And long story short, man, Delaware State was giving us all types of problems. And I took a hit and was dazed for a little bit. And then after that, man, I got after Coach French's in that defense and threw 4 touchdowns in the second half, and the rest is history. So, he talks about that all the time. But Coach French has done a tremendous job with our guys.
Hey, he don't text me the last 2 days now. I mean, we that close. He don't text in the last 2 days. Coach, look,
and it's crazy because he's got relationships all across the HBCU spectrum, man, and he knows so many people that it's crazy. Because at the end of the day, man, he's been a great resource and all that good stuff. But he's still doing it. So and doing it at a high level. So we're appreciative of him and the work that he's done.
Yeah. Coach Gray, I'm going to turn you over to my guys, man. I'm proud of you. Watch you grow. I think the best is in front of you. Good luck with Albany State playing Valdosta. I know you'll get after it, man. And you might become the first HBCU and African-American coach to win the Division II championship. We're cheering for you.
I sure appreciate it, man. And for us, the energy and the for our players, everything is in front of us. We have an opportunity as a program right now to tie the most wins in school in a season in school history, and then if we're able to win this one with 11, and then next week, if we're fortunate enough to win this one and go into next week, we'll be trying to win 12, which would be the most wins in a season in school history. So we got things that we're playing for. Not only that, Valdosta put a good beating on us last year in the first game of the season, and we know who they are, they know who we are, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
Coach, I want to ask you a question, Rocky. I'm going to turn it over to you, but you made me think of something. You hear a lot, and especially you've seen the Deshaun Jackson, you've seen, to Coach Tremaine Jackson, and everybody's looking about an instant turnaround. But most people will say it's that third year when you finally get your players in, everybody understands the culture. You finished second the last 2 years. Now you go on and win this. What was it, as they say, that third year that everything clicked that really turned this team into a championship team?
I think for us, the biggest thing that happened in this program was the trust. The players trusted us as coaches, and we trusted them more as players. And it became more of a player-led team over the last 11 months than any time that we've been here. When it comes down to it, we can motivate them as best we can. But at the end of the day, when they're holding each other accountable for not being on time, and when your captains are getting on guys for not being where they're supposed to be, and you as a coach don't have to say much, then your program is running on easy at that point. And that's what you truly want. You want your captains and your leaders to be able to step up in those roles and make sure that they're bringing those younger guys along to the standards that's been set for the program. So for us, the biggest thing, one of the biggest things, is that player-led leadership that's taking place this year. And the other thing, and pardon me for saying this, because I know some people may have an issue, but man, our Lord and Savior is present in our program. And there's no question about it, man. We got a player-led Bible study every Thursday that a lot of our players attend. And, for the most part, man, faith without works is dead. And our guys have been working tremendously throughout this season and keeping God as a main focus of our program, and making sure that any and everything that we do, we give him all the glory for the success that we've had, because there's no one man in this program that's responsible for the success, not even me as the head coach. So with that, I think those are the two major things that have definitely been contributing forces to our success this past season.
Okay, Rocky, go ahead. I had to get that out because, again, Coach, we just said everybody thinks it's the instant fix. You know what I mean? You got to do it in the first year. But I think, again, patience, and along with the right coach and the right school supporting you, you showing what you're going to do. And I know you're going to keep doing. But we're going to circle back because we got some more questions about that. But I'm going to turn it over to Rocky.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I just have a couple questions, Coach. You've coached at FAMU. You also played at FAMU. And we've had several people on our chat here tonight that ask, are you running this? I'm not familiar with it. He says, are you running Billy Joe's Gulf Coast offense?
No, I'm not running that particular offense, but there's remnants of it in terms of the speed that we're able to play at and the tempo that we're able to play at. I've learned over the years that the offense that we ran back in the mid to late 90s, early 2000s was kind of revolutionary at that time. Coach Billy Joe was able to come up with some schematics that people just weren't ready for back then. You're talking about an HBCU playing with 4 wide receivers, where defenses back then just didn't have the DBs to be able to keep up with us. And to be honest with you, I think it was my senior year, going into my senior year, where Coach Cole in Tennessee State was able to start catching up with us, and they actually beat us my senior year because they realized what it was that we were trying to do schematically, and we just basically put big linebackers in bad situations in the passing game. You know what I mean? So when they started putting smaller guys on the field, we decided to run the ball more. So it was a cat and mouse game when it came down to the Gulf Coast offense. And Coach Billy was a mastermind at putting us in situations to take advantage of what the defense wasn't able to do. So for us, and that was the beauty of the offense. We could line up and we could snap the ball within 10 seconds of the play being dead, and we could run the ball, we could pass the ball. It was taking what the defense gave us. And with that, back then, the speed that we played at was sort of kind of revolutionary, especially in HBCU football, because it wasn't customary to do that back then. So for us, the athletes that we had on the field versus the athletes that the defense had, you're talking about guys, Jaquay Nunley, Kanan Lamb, those guys coming from Miami, and then the line, the protection and stuff that we had up front, it was tremendous. So we just out-athleted people, to be honest with you, when it came down to it. So some of that stuff in terms of the speed that we played at, we used that, but from a schematic standpoint and from a play call standpoint, no, I've sort of kind of got away from that and sort of kind of got my own offensive mind when it comes down to that stuff.
Coach, I would be remiss if I didn't address something that many of the people in the chat have addressed, right? And I know you have a task in front of you. You're locked in, but with the success of former D2 coaches like Chennis Berry and now Tremaine Jackson being in a, clinched a berth in the SWAC championship. Is that an opportunity, something you look forward to in your career? I know now you got plenty to play for, but is that something that you look forward to getting that opportunity on the D1 level?
To be honest with you, Rock, man, I look forward to the opportunity to get my guys prepared for whatever's next. And as Tremaine Jackson said so eloquently, winning breeds favor, to be honest with you. And when you win, that attracts certain things. And at the end of the day, my guys and my coaches have put us in a situation to be successful and win the conference championship. Now, what I will say is, everybody has dreams and aspirations, but for me, until those opportunities present itself, because none of that has, I'm locked in with Albany State and where I'm at, and my feet are planted here until further notice. So for me, everybody has dreams of being on a Division I level, and I'm no different. But at the end of the day, I love where I'm at. My AD and my president are tremendous in supporting our program. The facilities and what they do for our program has been top notch. So for me, it's going to be hard to get away from that, because at the end of the day, we're winning. I got the program where I want it to be, and right now, we got a great opportunity to go into the Division II playoffs and make some noise.
Absolutely, Coach. And speaking about your team, Coach, you have a dynamic quarterback that went to FAMU and was able to do some things at that level. We also saw Chennis Berry and Tremaine Jackson, for that matter, take some players from their D2 program up to Division I, and those guys were able to perform, right? With the showing that you guys had at FAMU, what do you see as a talent evaluator? What is the biggest difference between a D2 player and a FCS or Division I player? Because we've seen it work. Those players work. Or is there much difference in your eyes?
I think when it truly comes down to it, you hear the cliche of, the trenches. And to be honest with you, the way things are going these days with the transfer portal and things like that, that is typically the major difference when it comes down to the Division II and FCS and Group of 5 levels. The offensive line play, the defensive line play, the athletes that are now playing defense are a lot more. Is a lot more athletic than when we played the game. So for us, the ability to compete speaks volumes to the work and the recruiting that we do. Because to be honest with you, Rock, there's a lot more quality kids available on the high school level than ever before. Because a lot of those kids would have gotten snatched up by Group of 5 and FCS schools in the past. But with the advent of the portal, and the pressures of having to win now, a lot of these coaches overlook some of the better talent on the high school levels that deserves opportunities and deserve to be developed. And for us, that talent that gets overlooked, we don't have an issue with bringing a kid in and letting them develop for a year and things of that magnitude. And if they can come here and to be honest with you, over the last 2 years, 3 years that we've been here, we've always had at least 3 or 4 freshmen that came right in and played because their level of play has been higher because of the level of player and talent that we're able to get because of the portal. So for us, being able to go down to a FAMU or a SWAC school and compete is in our favor simply because we have a greater level of talent than we would have been able to get in years prior. So for that, we definitely do our due diligence in our evaluations of talent, and we do our due diligence when it comes down to the portal as well. Because at the end of the day, we don't use the portal as much, because we're able to get a better or more quality kid that we feel can come in here and not want to transfer because of the experience that they have here at Albany State. And the fact that we gave them an opportunity and they felt like they were looked over and things of that magnitude. And that's not to say 2-3 years down the road, they come here and do some great things that somebody may not come here and offer them some money. And if that happens, you know, we wish them well because they've earned that and they may deserve it. But at the end of the day, you know, we definitely do our due diligence in recruiting better talent from the high schools and developing that talent and making sure that, you know, if somebody does come knocking on their door, they're prepared for those opportunities because we've done the work to get them where they are, hopefully from a football standpoint and an academic standpoint. So for us, being able to compete with those schools is nothing more than us being able to accrue some better talent from the high school levels and then also sprinkle in some talent from the portal as well.
Coach, you're very perceptive because you actually answered the next question I was going to have. But the last thing I want to ask you is, has your program experienced a lot of defections over the past 3 years of guys going up to Division I or transferring out to other programs?
To be honest with you, no, we haven't. We've had Jari Turner, who was a corner that played tremendously down at FAMU back in 2021. He went Division I. There was a couple of other guys that decided that they were going to leave. One of them begged to come back, but as I tell them, if you decide to get in the portal, then you made a decision that you didn't want to be here. To be honest with you, but we haven't had a mass exodus of players. Over the last 3 years, we've probably had 3 to 4 guys that decided they wanted to test the portal. Now, that's not to say that we didn't suggest some guys get in the portal because maybe they just didn't fit the bill or they weren't living up to the standards of Albany State and what we were setting for our program. But we haven't had much action when it comes down to people leaving Albany State, because again, we take pride in the experience that we provide for these student athletes here, the academics and the education that we provide for these student athletes. And then on top of that, you know, they know and understand that we love them here generally, and they know that we care. And you can tell in the way that they play for each other and the love that they show for each other on Saturdays each and every week.
Hey, Coach, that sounds amazing. Coach, occasionally here on HBCU Coaches Corner, we have what we call surprise guest, Coach. And we had to bring a guy up. And this is Coach Cole's doing. This ain't Coach Campbell's doing. This is Coach Cole's doing. Coach Cole, take it from here.
Frenchie, what's up, man?
What's going on?
Coach, you the legend, man. And look, you got all these mentees, man. And I just had to make sure that Coach understood our relationship, but just how great you are, the places you've been, and you know, you're always going somewhere winning championships. Coach, I just want to bring Coach Frenchie on. You know, I appreciate you taking care of him, bringing him onto your staff. And man, this guy, we've been talking for what, 30 years, Coach, probably?
See, now you telling my age, everybody. See, there you go. But I tell you, they say the Lord look after babies and fools, and I ain't a baby, so he taking care of me.
Yeah. Man, what can you say about this guy? I know as a player, coaching against him, of course, been keeping up with his career. Coach Frenchie, he's done a super job, man. And, you know, I just want to let him know that, you know, he always have an angel watching him.
I tell you, man, I can remember when we kid about it all the time. When he was a player, I was coordinating at Delaware State. I tell him I knocked him out, In the first quarter, they woke him up. He threw 4 touchdowns before halftime. So I started blitzing. He went to sleep. Quinn Gray, he woke up Doug Williams. Man, I don't know what happened when they woke him back up. Hey, I had to stop blitzing him, though. But I tell you what, now, I'm going to be honest with you. Todd, I've been in this thing so long that what I enjoy now, being in it so long, to see the Trey Olivers. I recruited Trey Oliver from Tabb High School in Virginia. I signed him to his national letter of intent. Sean Gibbs, I signed him out of Owens High School in North Carolina. And Adrian Jones played for us at Central. And to see Quinn now head coaching. I don't know if I've been in it too long, but it's good to see these guys. Because when you first saw them, you know, they were young men trying to find their way, and now they're leading young men. So, you know, it's kind of the circle of life thing, and it's a proud moment. You know, I talk to Coach Little all the time, and Sam Washington say, you know what, we did good by these guys. And it's as an older coach and been in it so long, it's fun to see these guys that you saw them when they were players, you know what I mean? And now you see them growing, and their fathers and their leading programs. It's a special thing, man. And I've been blessed enough to see it happen several times. And working for him down here at Albany, he now we get up early in the morning. I keep telling him now I'm old. I don't get up this early no more. But he lets you coach your kids. You know, I'm old school now, so you know I'm like that preacher at that old church that your grandma go now. I'm fire and brimstone now. You know, so but he let you coach your guys, and I'm having a great time. I can't lie. I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't. So it's been fun. The kids are playing hard, Johnnie, to be honest with you. The kids are playing. They're playing hard. They're giving us an honest day's work. So it's been a blast, man.
Man, I appreciate you coming on, Coach, man. And I just, you know, the thing that why I started this show was about HBCU coaches. And of course, you know, the trend has changed a little bit since the Deion Sanders story. But we got great guys, man, like Coach Quinn, that man, some of these schools, these HBCU schools are giving these jobs away. And we got kids that have came through the program. We've paid their way. We've scholarshiped them. We've raised them. They've done the right thing as Coach Quinn. And I know he's at Albany State and his feet are solid down there, man. But when these positions open up on our Division I level at HBCUs, we do have coaches who have came through the system that's first class, that can run any program, not just at HBCU Division I schools, but anywhere. You know, so I appreciate you coming on, man. We're going to get on back with Coach Quinn, and I know he got to get to bed pretty soon. So appreciate you, Frenchie, coming on.
All right, baby. Y'all take care. I'm laying down now.
All right, Coach Campbell. I know we got the Rattler channel for the next 15.
Yeah, no, we go because I know, Coach. Like I said, we on a tight time frame, but I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about those great Rattler teams, Coach. Yeah. And you, Coach. So, Coach, you talked about the Rat Boys and the Gulf Coast offense and things like that. What was some of the games that you remembered in some of the games? Like you said, FAMU at that time, we went anywhere, anytime, played anybody. Mm-hmm. What was some of those games? Like I said, again, we played Tennessee State, we played Southern, we were in the MEAC. You know what I'm saying? We went to the Circle City Class. What was some of those games that you knew, hey, man, we got it? Because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, that 3-year period, because I think, because Pat Bonner was the quarterback right before you, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we had a run, that 4-year run with you guys between Pat passing on to you. Well, hey, man, FAMU was one of the top HBCU football teams. What was the games that you were most excited about that you remember that, man, we were just on fire?
Man, to be honest with you, Campbell, you got to go back to Albany State transfer with Oteam and Sampson. You know what I mean? He's the originator of the Gulf Coast offense. He was the very first quarterback that Coach Billy Joe trusted with the offense in terms of allowing quarterbacks to call their own plays and things of that magnitude. Because this is the true reason all that happened. Because I was in my true freshman year, I was in the press box with Coach Billy Joe, and Coach Billy Joe would call plays from the press box, and Oteam would change every play that he called. So when it came down to it, Coach Billy Joe got to a point where he said, hey, if he keep changing every play, well, why not let him call it? You know, because he sees what he sees on the film, and he feels like he can put us in a better position. And it ended up working wonders. You're talking about Pat Bonner coming in the next year and taking the program and taking that offense to an upper echelon and to a whole nother stratosphere in terms of breaking single season school records, throwing for over 4,000 yards and 40 touchdowns that year. You're talking about just a tremendous jump in what we were able to do as a program from an offensive standpoint. And on top of that, we had a stingy defense as well with Oric Johnson and all the Johnson brothers and, things like that. So for us, those games against Tennessee State, I don't know if Coach Cole remember back in 1997 when they came down, it had to be 110 degrees. We played at 1 o'clock down there in the snake pit, but that was the start of what I thought was one of the better HBCU classics or games when we played Tennessee State each and every year. So I think HBCUs, I know the conferences are a little bit different now, but those traditional games, FAMU playing Southern every year, FAMU playing Grambling every year, Tennessee State playing Jackson State, those games have to be games that we play each and every year. You know what I mean? Hampton to A&T going to the CAA. That ain't who we are, in my opinion. Now they have the right to do what they choose to do, but at the end of the day, we take pride in what we do as HBCUs. If you ask me, there needs to be a playoff for the Celebration Bowl and just not the two champions, just like they do for the college football playoff. Get us an HBCU playoff so we can play that thing out. Because on any given Saturday, anybody can get beat, as you saw with Grambling and Jackson State. So if you got a playoff, man, you get you a 2 or 3 week playoff that leads up to the Celebration Bowl, then so be it. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, man, those traditional games and those classics and things of that magnitude, you're talking about, you don't see much from the Circle City Classic in Indianapolis. Those classics that everybody used to look forward to. I remember my senior year, my junior year, we went down to Indianapolis and played Grambling. They beat us 12-10, Scotty Anderson and all those guys. And the next year, unfortunately, we were supposed to play in Cincinnati, but that's when 9/11 happened. So, those games, man, people used to look forward to those games and have fun at those games because they meant so much to the culture. And for me, man, all I can remember all our games when it never failed through my career at FAMU. Every time we played Southern, if we played them at Bragg Stadium, we blew them out. And if we played them at Mumford, it was a 2 or 1 point game. It was a 49-50 game or a 48-49 game. It never failed. But you always look forward to playing those rivalry games because you knew the crowd was going to be there and the energy that was going to be in that stadium that night was going to be second to none. So, man, I got a lot of games that I can remember, but just the overall HBCU experience when it came down to those classics and those rivalries, I'll never forget.
Coach. Well, hold on one thing. Hold on, Rocky. I want to ask you one question because a big thing, and Coach French made me think about this. You, T.C. Taylor, Chennis Berry, Trey Oliver, Eddie Robinson, Coach Tremaine Jackson, you guys all played. You guys ain't celebrities. What is it? Because if I start stacking up your names compared to quote-unquote the celebrities, it's more of you guys than the celebrities. What is it that made you guys, and people kind of overlooking the fact that you guys played, breathed it? What do you think makes you guys and all these coaches I just named successful, being who and what you are?
I think for us, we went through the went through the process. You know, we took our times and did it. Not saying that what they're doing isn't the right way, because the opportunities that they have is the opportunities that they have. You know what I mean? And nobody is against those opportunities. But you know, when it comes down to the Chennis Berries and myself and TC Taylor's, it's just a situation where it's different roads that have been taken. You know what I mean? Because some guys are getting opportunities because of what they did on a professional level, and we are getting our opportunities because of the work that we put in. You know what I mean? So for us, it may mean a whole lot more to us because we're engulfed in this culture, in the HBCU culture. I come from FAMU. I grew up at FAMU. I became a man at FAMU. I've worked at HBCUs majority of my coaching career. And for me, it has a different meaning because at the end of the day, when these guys leave these HBCUs and they get maybe other opportunities because they've used the HBCU as a stepping stone, a lot of times they ain't gonna look back at these HBCUs and do nothing for them. You know, for us, for me, giving back to my university, and if it came down to it, you know, at the end of the day, I'll always give back to Albany State now because there's some things here, people here that I love, and there's some things about this university that I'll never ever, you know, forget or allow to come out of my memory. But you know, for us, we've stood the test of time of doing things the right way, going through the process. You hear Coach Barry say it all the time. Mailman got to go to work, right? You know, he said all the time to his guys. So at the end of the day, man, that the coaches that have stood the test of time and gone through the process and earned the things that they're doing, kudos to them, because that's what we know. Because coming through a HBCU, you've always known that you got to work for what you get, and that's what we've done as coaches, and we knew that because we did the same thing as players.
Now, Coach Quinn, I have to address something that you said on the show. You just created a black college football playoff system. My question is, are we going to invite D2 schools, and how many D2 schools are we going to invite? If we do?
At the end of the day, you got to look at the quality of play. To be honest with you, are these D2 schools competing with these D1 schools? You got to look at the ability that or the game that we went and played with the FAMUs. Now, according to some people, FAMU ain't the FAMU of old, but at the end of the day, they still got some of that talent that they've had over the last several years. And at the end of the day, you got a Kentucky State that went and took Grambling to overtime this past year. And to me, they probably should have. The way that game ended, that ain't my business. But I thought they sort of kind of got holes there at the end. But you know, at the end of the day, if you got Division II teams that can play quality football, because I to be honest with you, Savannah State went down there and played South Carolina State pretty tough early on, and it got a little ugly late. But you know, these Division II schools are so slowly closing that gap in terms of the competition with some of these Division I schools in terms of the level of play. And when it comes down to it, I think, you know, if we're given the opportunity, as I told you, on any given Saturday, somebody can get beat. And if these Division IIs have the opportunity, I don't think they'll turn them down to go play those guys in those situations to have an opportunity to be an outright national champion in the HBCU realm.
The last thing I'll say, because I remember a Texas Southern team that actually won the Black College Heritage Bowl. They got clipped in that same year. They got clipped by Tuskegee. And I think the coach that was coaching that Texas Southern team is on this screen.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. So at the end of the day, you talking about, just think about it. Albany State, the last time before 21, the last time Albany State and FAMU played, Albany State beat FAMU. And Tuskegee, you talking about a few years back, were the proverbial HBCU champions, I think back in the early 2000s and things of that magnitude, because they had Division I talent on that team and they were beating the brakes off everybody. So, you know, when it comes down to it, man, these Division II schools and the talent again that we're able to recruit and bring into our programs is a lot better than what you were able to bring in years ago. Because you find now, like let's just say for instance with Valdosta this week, man, they got over 58 transfers on their roster, whereas for us we got like 8 to 10 at the most.
How many
you know
they got, Coach? If they got 58 transfers, how many scholarships they got?
Listen, I don't know. I know on Division II there's only 36 allowed, but when it comes down to Division II, you're able to break them things up as much as you need to. But you know, down here we're working with about 16 to 18 scholarships, and we're happy with that right now because you know we do a good job of managing that and getting quality kids with the money the scholarships that we have, and we're gonna go in there and compete just like we got 36 scholarships on this Saturday. So we'll see.
Yeah. Albany State beat me out for national championship HBCU in 2010. And I cried like a baby to the commissioner and stuff of saying how what was it, box something like how
box Toro.
Yeah, how can you get them the national championship over us when we played UConn and all these Division I schools? How can y'all just get them the championship when they only played about 3 schools that had winning records? But
Y'all lost to Tuskegee, Coach.
We lost to Tuskegee. Exactly. But Tuskegee is a winning program just like Albany State is.
That's a fact.
Ain't no question. But, it is what it is. I mean, I kind of like it. Put together maybe 8 teams. It's something to talk about.
That's a fact. That's an absolute fact.
But one of the things, Coach Quinn, that I started this show about talking about HBCU coaches, man, and you are one of the ones that I'm talking about. I'm against celebrity coaches. I'm the youngest of 9 kids, and I believe in doing things the right way. Paving your way to get where you get. And most of the time, when you get something for free, you don't respect it anyway. And I've been around this conference for over 40 years. And I can say that I've seen professional football players or professional NFL players that come in and take over these programs and do nothing. Of course, we know we in the Deion Sanders season or era that he had set a standard. But those standards still hadn't been met. But what happens is we choose to go to HBCU schools. We could have went somewhere else. And we don't fed you, we don't clothe you, we don't scholarship you, we don't taught you everything. And for us to give away some of these jobs, because we only got 40. We only got 40 jobs, man. And they sure ain't giving us no jobs up there. They ain't even giving their own jobs. So that's one of my cries of guys like you that deserve to be in one of these Division I programs. No shade on Albany State, but I just think that when we do that, when we let folks jump the gun, because jump the line, because they're not jumping the line elsewhere. They only jump the line when it comes to HBCUs. And to me, when you do that, man, I think it's a shame and it's a disgrace, and it's saying that we're not good enough. And I know we are.
That's an absolute fact. There have been quality coaches that have come through the ranks and definitely put their time in that are deserving. And that when it comes down to
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.